Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Now, the conversation we're about to have on AM Exclusive today is a truly exclusive interaction, but it's also special. Usually we'll talk about politics, current affairs, yes, social issues. We're going to talk about all of those, but my guests today are an interesting group. The man I'm about to speak to, he's a politician, not from Ghana though, but he is in Ghana, and we managed to catch up with him. We also have a man with a beautiful story intertwined with the life of my main guest. But without further ado, let me introduce to you, first off, Jeremiah Kong. Now, he happens to be the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Kong, thank you so much for joining me here for this conversation.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to have you join. And I have a rich history with Liberia, so it's a pleasure being here. We also have joining the conversation Mr. Addison. What's your full name? Tell us your full name, Mr. Addison.
My full name, thank you. My full name is Emmanuel Echo Addison.
Emmanuel Echo Addison. Okay, you had mentioned the Echo earlier, and we'll explain to you why Mr. Addison is here today. But let me start with Jeremiah. So, first off, I feel congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
It was the 22nd of January that you were sworn in.
Yes, please.
Right. So now you are Vice President. I must say, pretty simple. Not not like many of our African leaders. So, but just to start off, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Jeremiah Kong?
So my name is Jeremiah Kong, and I'm a Liberian, born and raised in Liberia. I lived there all my life. I was previously a businessman. Okay. And so later went to politics. I became representative in 2011. I got elected and took seat in 2012.
When you say you're a representative in the legislative body?
In the legislature. In Liberia, we have two chambers, the House of Rep and the House of Senate.
Right.
But together is the legislature. Okay. So I got elected to the House of Representatives in 2011. I took seat in January 2012, and I retained my seat in 2017. I went for re-elections, and I won my seat in 2017. And by 2020, I was asked by my constituents to run for the Senate, which is this time is the whole county. It's not just the district. And I contested in 2020, and I won the elections. And by 2023, I was contacted to be Vice President to His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. And we ran a successful campaign, and today I'm the Vice President to His Excellency Ambassador Boakai.
And that's interesting. I mean, who knows what next step could be there for you, because Joseph Boakai has himself been Vice President before. And Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, he was Vice President, tried, lost to Weah, and now he's actually won. So that's a pretty interesting journey. What does it mean to you, this position you occupy? Before we get to the other stories and why Mr. Addison is here, what does it mean to you?
For me, it's a space to work more. It's a space to do more for your people. And so it's challenging as a young person.
Right.
Your life is almost in a cave where you leave your house in the morning in the car, you go to work, and you got a lot of people following you and security people and everything. There's nothing private anymore. And so it's challenging, but I'm grateful, and we are praying that God guide us to do the right thing for our country and see how we can improve the lives of our people.
So this is a, 6-year term?
This is a 6-year term.
6-year term.
Yeah.
So this is 2024 till
2029. If the 2029.
Yeah. By 2030, you'll be handing over. Yeah. All right. We'll come back to some of those, but I'd like us to throw the spotlight on a very interesting story about human beings and why we should be human to one another. And that also explains why you are in Ghana, right?
True.
Take us, is it 22 years ago or 24 years ago?
24 years ago.
24 years ago.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm in Ghana today because I'm going to represent the President of Liberia at an inauguration ceremony in Bayelsa State in Nigeria.
Right.
The inauguration of the governor. And I also had the invitation to go to Morocco on the South-South Cooperation Parliament Conference. And so I was asked to deliver a speech. And so I was in Morocco. I'm now in Ghana and waiting for my flight, hopefully tomorrow, for Monrovia, Liberia.
Right.
So, as I said before, I was a business guy. And in about 98, 99, 2000, we were coming to Togo to buy cars and take to Liberia to sell. During this time where the wartime in Liberia, so we all know what it meant. And this day we were coming to Togo. We were 5 young people together. My friend Perignan is in Liberia today. Mustafa Abdallah is dead today. He died already.
So rest in peace.
So rest in peace. You had Yankee Nyeneke. Yankee Nyeneke is also in Yekepa, in an area called Yekepa in Liberia. Another person. We're 5 in number. As the name comes, I will let you know. And so we're en route to Togo. And so we came by a bus that used to run in the Côte d'Ivoire called Steve.
I see.
A company called Steve. And so Steve brought us from Danale to Accra.
Tamale.
Danale. Danale is in Côte d'Ivoire.
Okay.
It's the first big town from the border, Danane. So we came to Ghana. We entered here. We left Danane about 9-10 Saturday night, 2022. I don't remember the month.
You mean 2002?
2000, the year 2000.
2000.
In the year 2000. So we came to Ghana and we got here about 1 a.m. in the morning. And so we should have gone to Togo. But we used to buy cylinders in Ghana. There are a lot of used cylinders that used to come from Europe in Ghana. So we used to buy them to take to Liberia and sell. And so we wanted to buy cylinders in Ghana, leave it here, go to Togo, get the car. So when we are coming back, we can pick up the cylinders.
Right.
So when we got down from the bus, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So my friend asked that we just go to the entertainment center instead of paying for a hotel to sleep, which would cost us money. We were struggling at the time. So we went to the entertainment center called Yakiki. I still remember that name. I don't know whether it still exists in Ghana. It's called Yakiki. So we're in Yakiki, and about 4 a.m. in the morning, I remember that Ghana on Sunday, there was no business.
Yeah.
So no shop open. So I told my friend, oh, it's a mistake. Today is Sunday morning, 4 a.m. Tomorrow morning, we wouldn't be able to get cylinders and some stuff we try to buy. So let's go to Togo. When we come back, we can get those stuff on a market day or day that the businesses are open in Accra, Ghana. So then there was a bus driver parking. I don't remember his name. And so we asked him, it was an 18-seater bus, 18 or 16-seater bus, Nissan bus. So we asked him to take us to Togo. And how much could we pay? So he charged us, and we agreed to pay for all the seats. We paid. So we got in the
all the 16 or 18 seats. You paid for all of them.
We paid for all.
And there were only 5 of you.
Yes.
Right.
We're 5. There's a guy from Togo who was also with us. I brought a driver from Togo.
Right.
The other time he drove, because when we go to Togo and we pay for car, 2-3 cars, your one can drive it. So you have to hire a driver. At the time it was $150 for somebody to drive from Togo to Liberia. And then you transport them to come back. And so there was this guy with us from Togo that I was bringing back, because the cars we carry, we just sold them and we're coming back to Togo to get another one. When we got in the bus, we noticed that the driver had put 2 more persons in the bus. But all we thought it was his conductors and other people. So we got in the bus and we started to leave Accra.
So this was before you even got into the bus. These 2 people were there.
Apparently, I don't know how they really got on board. But after we spoke to him and we agreed to go, then 2 guys entered the bus.
Okay.
2 guys. So the two guys got in the bus, and we got in the bus. So we assumed that they were
the conductors helping you.
So we didn't have a problem. We started leaving. I mean, few minutes in the drive, we all fell asleep. Because we have come from the entertainment center, we're drinking beer and all those. So we came from, whole night we haven't sleep, we in the bus. And so we all fell asleep. But this guy from Togo wasn't sleeping. He was a Muslim, he couldn't drink beer. So he was sitting among us. He was sitting in the bus. So we all fell asleep.
He was very sober.
Yes. When we got somewhere on the highway, the two guys spoke tree to the driver. I was sleeping by then. This is what I was told by the Togolese guy. Now let's do it here. And then the driver said, no, this place is too open. Let's go further. The Togolese guy could understand tree. Apparently, Togo, Ghana, they are very close.
Yeah.
So he heard their conversations. And then he yelled in the bus, these are criminals, these are criminals. So we all woke up from sleep, yelling and all around the place. There was a guy with us who is called Mustafa. He's dead today.
Right.
He was a former soldier, part of the rebel group. So he wasn't afraid of armed robbery. And
right.
He did that things he handled. So he was the brave one. So he said, don't you know we are Liberians, you want to arm rob us? We understand these things more. So the guys got afraid. And the driver, they all started running.
So these two people, together with the driver, they jumped out of the car.
They started running. So because we were many, and we started chasing them now. So when we ran after them, the driver, we couldn't grab them.
But were they armed?
The two guys were armed.
The two ones in the bus,
were armed, yeah.
They had what, pistols or something?
Pistols. But the guys, the guy Mustafa was telling them, fire, this thing does nothing to me. You know that kind of, he's a soldier, so he knew what he was doing. I was afraid and very confused. So when they left, we were on the highway, the bus is parked, the key is in it. And so I told my guys, look, start this car, turn it around, and let's find a police station where we go and explain to the police what happened to us.
Right.
By that, they will find this driver. In the process, the two guys who escaped went to the Navy's base. The area it was happening, the Navy's base, I think somewhere around there, or Navy's people were around. So apparently he went there and told them that there were some Liberians armed robbing a Ghanaian.
Wow. And so that's the driver? Is it the driver who went and did that?
The two guys.
The two guys went and did that.
So the Navy's people got in their car. At that time, armed robbery was very high in Ghana. So the Navy's car started coming. At this point, I've asked one of my guys to turn, one of the driver I was taking, to turn the car around so that we come in town to find a police station. And the Navy's came and met us turning the car around. So it proved that we were armed robbing the Ghanaian men. There was no way to say anything.
Right.
So the fire in the air, bow, bow. And then we all started running. So we ran in the bush. I ran with a friend called Perry. We all went to some people went alone. So they grabbed one of my guys, his name is Yankee.
Right.
They beat him and he had cut all on him. He and the Togolese guy were together. They hit the Togolese guy in the mouth and broke 2 teeth.
Wow.
From his mouth. So they arrested those 2. They didn't arrest some of us. So I slept in the bush around the place. I don't remember very well, but it's on the highway to Togo. And there were some people praying in the bush. So my friend said, let's reach out to these people. I said, no. It could be the same people pretending to be Christians and praying. So let's lie down here until tomorrow morning. So we slept. Soon morning by 6, we got up and we started walking, asking questions to find a police station. So they directed us to Ashama police station.
Ashaiman police station.
Ashama police station.
Right.
So we went there and told the police that, look, we are Liberians, we were traveling and we were armed robbed last night, and we explained. So Addison, I don't know his first name, but I remember the Addison very well.
Right.
So Addison was the guy in charge of the case, police guy who was asked to take us to where the thing happened and let's see the site. So he took us to the gas station. When we went there, there were blood all on the ground because they broke the guard teeth and beat our guys there. So the guys working at the station said last night they arrested some armed robbers here, and they took them to the Navy's base.
The naval base.
The Navy's base. So he told us, let's go there. When we entered the base, he explained to the people that he has come. He learned that there were some people arrested here, and so these are some of the people who were there last night. Oh, they cuffed us.
All right. I think I'll let you hold it there and let him continue, Mr. Addison, because you were in the police service at the time. You were the Addison that he's speaking of, right?
Exactly so.
So narrate the story for us from there. What exactly happened once you took them to the naval base?
Yes, let me start from the time they came to Asama police station and lodged a complaint. I was then on duty. I was on duty then, so they referred the case to me as a CID man on duty. So they referred the case to me, and I took their statement as usual. Then I said, I'll move to the scene. So we went to the scene of crime, and we saw that there's a blood stains around. So then they'll follow it. So we went to a nearby police station, Shell police station, just on the way to Titi Brothers.
Right.
The first station on your left. On your left. So we went there, and we saw a pool of blood, as he said. So I quickly asked the Navy officer on duty, "Master, what happened?" I saw it was, they arrested armed robbers, and those attendants also testified. And they have sent them to the naval base. Naval base. Okay, so quickly we took taxi and we went there. Truly, when we met the officer there, he confirmed that yes, they brought them, but they have sent them to Fishing Harbour police station, since the case fall within the police jurisdiction. So we went to Fishing Harbour. Immediately that I introduced myself, these two gentlemen also came to Ashaman and lodged complaint of robbery against the driver and the two occupants. They arrested them. That, we are even looking for them. This armed robbery, here. Well, when we went there, one of them in the cells, Mustafa, called him. Said, so you are part of. Initially, I didn't want to disclose them. Right. So Mustafa called them. I said, so they are all here. Then they arrested all of them. So quickly, I have to inform my crime officer, who's now COP from Pong. Then he directed me that I should come to Ashaman police station. They informed the regional commander. They said, since the case falls within Ashaman jurisdiction, we should take over the case. So they released the suspect to me. And so
when you say they released the suspects to you, or now you had 5 of them?
5 of them.
And you took them where? To the Ashaman police station?
But some were injured. So when I sent them to Ashaman police station for their health safe, I sent them to Tama General Hospital. They treated them. Some got a big cut here, and some also lost their teeth. So they treated them first aid, and I sent them to police station. Then we started investigation. So to cut everything short, we invited the bus driver. The bus driver, because the bus driver was now a complainant. He went to Fishing Harbour and brought complaint. Yeah. So after they handed over this, I called him and he came. So we took his statements, and there was a lot of the statement
incoherence, right? It didn't add up.
No, there was a missing link somewhere. So what happened? Did you see this people armed? What happened?
Because that was another question I was going to ask. Even when they were apprehended, these people were not armed.
Were not armed. So what happened?
So armed robbers without ammunition.
So what happened? So I said, no, this case I have to be very careful and take pains to investigate it. So I told my crowd, you don't send sit-rep now. Because immediately there's an armed robbery case, they have to send a sit-rep. So hold on. I don't know whether they send it, but I said, this one, there's no need for me to rise and go and remind them. Because that time, if you get an armed robbery case, you have to go to court, just remind them.
Yeah. Sometimes it was a quick process, very quick process, because of the spate of armed robbery.
Yes. So during the investigations, then I got to know that these people were innocent. They were innocent. And that one, the thing that really helped them, initially they were feeling reluctant to give me, I asked them a question. You are saying you were a businessman, we are going to buy cars. Where is the money that you are holding?
Right.
So, no, we don't have money, no. How much was that? This one, if you show me, I won't take it. It will really going to help us to establish the only sense about this case. So later, while he was in cells, I brought him out, said, go and lead me. So we went to the same place opposite, getting to Tulaku. They went far, went to Tulaku. Then they dug a hole there, buried the huge money, and they put a stick. The one went there
to identify.
40,000.
So briefly, I'll come back to you. What made you do this? You buried the money and put a stick there to help you identify. But what made you do that? Was it fear?
So remember, we being Arab, we are afraid. We are in Ghana and we don't know the way out. Coming from our country, was wartime. Seeing somebody with 40,000, you could lose your life. Yeah. And so we didn't want to keep the money on us. So what we did was dug the hole, put the money there, bury it, and put something there.
But what made you think someone hadn't seen you who would come and dig it up?
It was in the night. Nobody could see. This thing is happening by 4, 5 in the morning. So nobody could see that something. So we're hoping that after all this thing, we'll come back and come to the gas station and find where we put the money.
And then you make your purchase. You go and purchase your.
So at first we're afraid. When he asked us for the money, we said, among ourselves, you show this guy the money, he will kill us. So the better we don't show the money. Let's just say the money got missing. So they kept asking, we slept in jail for the first day, the second day. The third day, then I told my friends, look, let's show him the money. If even he take the money, fine, let me be free and go back.
Right.
Because what shocked me was the jail I was in. When I asked some of the guys, excuse me, how long you been here? 15 years, 20 years. What did you do? Armed robber, I did this. I said, my life is finished. You are here for 10, 15 years.
Your life flashed before your eyes.
My life is finished.
Right.
And so at that point I said, look, because what the police he needed was to be convinced that we're business people.
Right.
And to be business people, we must have money.
Exactly.
So I contacted the guy in Togo that we used to buy cars from. He was a customer. I informed him. The guy came. And then we went with him and showed him where the money was. And then we took the money out of the ground. When he took the money, he thought it was that original money. So they took it to the bank and they tested it. And it was money. Then I want to believe that he concluded that these guys, because the bus doesn't cost $3,000.
Right.
So why would somebody traveling, group of people traveling with about $40,000,
right,
want to unwrap a $2,000 or $3,000 old bus?
Exactly, and that's where I'll hold you up again. So coming back to you, Mr. Addison, was that where you realized that their story held water, that it made more sense than the story of the bus driver?
Yes. And to add to it, I even asked him to give me if he has a call card of the dealer in Togo.
Right.
And surprisingly, he came out with a call card.
Okay.
So I reasoned from the cells and we moved to a nearby communication center. Then very difficult to nearby communication center, and we called. I didn't allow him to talk. I asked a certain independent person to talk to the man. That he mentioned his name. He said, "You know this guy." So the guy also confirmed. Yes. I said, "Okay, so then you come to Ghana. This is the situation that the people are in now." And seriously, the man also came, and I took his statements, and I saw that it was collaborated.
So at that time, you realized they were not armed robbers; they were in for business. But something else I'd like to find out: what then happened to the bus driver who had come to, spin this yarn, tell this story, and the other two, who were actually the armed robbers, who had now gone to, lodge the complaint?
When I asked this question, the man denied. When I was taking his statements as a complainant, the man denied, and I asked him, "Can you produce the two occupants?" So they were mere passengers on board. So immediately the incident happened, they also traveled to Togo. So when are they coming? I said, he doesn't know them then. This is what he said. So I said, okay. So we're then not having concrete evidence to stand on it to prosecute the case. Mm-hmm. So I had a conference meeting with my chief inspector, crime, and the district officer, and the crime officer, Mr. Frimpong. And I narrated everything to them, and it was okay. then let inform the regional commander. So we booked an appointment and we went to the regional commander together with all the parties. The bus driver, the Navy officer who was on duty at that filling station was also summoned. He came, and my suspects, the alleged armed robbery suspects or armed robbers. So when we met, initially the officers met the regional commander, then Mr. Mentrell, they met him and briefed him. So they took over my docket, studied it, and they asked me to excuse them. So they discussed over this issue for a very long time before they said, okay, there's a call the Navy officer. I was there when they called the two affairs. And then when they interviewed the Navy officer, he was also there when people shouted. No, the guy was just running toward that place to take a refuge. But they mistakenly, because the people were shouting, armed robbers, so he could not speak English. He thought, oh, they are one of those people. So that's why they nearly lynched him. But he even intervened, and they sent him to. So there wasn't any concrete evidence to prove from that man that he was armed. So we didn't search him. That's all this question. The man could not answer. So in presence of my officers, they said, okay, then you stand there. They said I should bring them. When they came, they interviewed them, and they also said what he said. And finally, the regional commander, with his own discretion, said, this case, we should discontinue it.
So the case was discontinued. The bus driver...
No, the bus driver failed to produce.
Right. But now that it was pointing to the fact that he could actually be the perpetrator, but there was not enough evidence, so it had to be left there. Hold for me up. Back to you, Jeremiah. So you were told you could go, all five of you. You were told you were free.
Yes.
You could go.
Yes. So when it took.
But what happened after that? Because there was something else that happened with Mr. Addison.
So something he didn't mention. He was taking my statement. The bus driver has a sister who was somebody in the Ghana security sector, whether police or at the court. The lady has come to talk to him. We both were in the room, and they were both speaking Tree. So I didn't understand what they were speaking. But then later he came out, the talk got so hard, and he came out in English, that he wouldn't do this. And the lady said, is this because of the Liberian, he used other words I don't want to use. He said, because of that, you are my brother, you are talking to me like this. We meet at the court. And she left in anger. So then then he said, she has come to talk to me to see how I can help her and make sure you people are guilty. Because I was there, they were talking.
To see how he can help her.
Turn the case against us. Because the both of them were speaking Tree, and later their voice went very high, and they came to English. Then the lady said, is this because of this Liberian something else? Right. I can't say it now. Because of that, you are my brother from Ghana, you're trying to
what did you think was happening? Because of the money involved?
I don't know. Apparently,
Mr. Addison, was it hold for me, was it because of the money? This person was
not really. The chief inspector is a brother to the driver. So when I was taking this man's statement, she came there. And that time I saw that my man was really weak, because he could not take anything. So I decided to buy him malt and biscuit. I even begged him to, because I wanted to be in a healthy form before I would take his statement. And the one said, why are you pampering them? They are all armed robbers. Madam, I've finished with your brother. Will you please excuse me? I said it in Tree.
Okay, so that was her bone, the bone of contention.
The bone of contention.
Because she was related to the bus driver, and she felt you were giving them some preferential treatment. Okay, all right. So you heard all of that.
When they took us to the police station, we went to the Ghana National Police Station to meet the director of police.
Police headquarters.
Yeah, police headquarters.
Regional police command.
Police headquarters.
All right.
So when we went there, we were asked to sit on the floor, and we sat down, and they asked us, the director, the big policeman asked us. And I explained, and they asked the bus driver, he explained. And the police commander said, look, these people are not armed robbers. And he told us, the last thing he said to us was, look, next time you come to Ghana, when it's late, stay off the street, find somewhere to be. because there's too many armed robbery going on. It's done by people who are coming from nearby countries. Countries I don't want to call now. And so please be careful next time. We'll provide you security to escort you at the Togo border. And they brought out the money. They gave me the money.
40,000.
Yes, I checked the money. And that's the part that makes me, I'm never forgetting this man's name.
Tell us that part of the story.
When I checked the money, they asked me, is your money correct? I said, yes, my money is correct. They said, thank you. Take your money and you can leave. It was surprising to me. Because
who was telling you this, Mr. Addison?
the director of police, the regional commander.
Right.
So take your money and you can leave. We'll give you escort to escort you. So we said thank you. When we got out, I called Addison and I checked $1,000 and gave it to him to tell him thank you. He said no. So I assumed that the money was small. This guy has helped out and we are free, we have money. He could take all this money. So apparently he's not happy that we are giving him $1,000. So I added one more. I said, this is two.
So that was
no.
$2,000.
$2,000.
Right.
He said no. And so I finally made it $3,000.
Right.
So I called my friends and said, look, I think the guy wants something better and we should give him something better. So let me make the money $3,000. So we make the money $3,000. I brought it and gave it to him. He said, look, my brother, I don't want your money. I didn't help you for money. I got two of my brothers that are outside Ghana. It could be them that this thing happening to. And so I'm not working for pay. You can have your money, thank you.
Wow.
I've never seen such thing before. Since I left, I remember that name, Addison. And so every time I came to Ghana, because it took me some years to come to Ghana. So one time I went to Ashama police station to look for this Addison. Nobody knows him. Because I only know Addison, I don't know the first name. So every time I see a policeman or I see a group of security personnel in Ghana, I ask them, do you know one Addison? In fact, in Liberia, UNMIL, the UN people that came to Liberia for peace, Ghanaians, Nigerians, people from all walks of life, the police and the military observer, they live in my compound. They were my tenants, renting from me. So every time I go to the Ghanaian guy, there was one called Yakubu. He was a policeman.
To ask about him.
To ask about him. Oh, we don't know that name. I got up at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. I always want to look at my phone and see whether WhatsApp or somebody sent a message to me. And when I touch my phone, on Facebook, it pop up that President Weah has conceded defeat. And I said, this is somebody writing something.
You didn't believe it.
It's not a serious thing.
You didn't think it was true.
I didn't believe it.
But it was true.
It was true. So early morning, before I got up, my phone is buzzing. Congratulations, congratulations. And then I went back on Facebook. Then I listened to the broadcast, and President Weah was speaking, and he conceded defeat. It gave the country a better climate. It makes us set us apart in Africa, and we want to be an example to other African countries that look, power is like a borrowed coat.
Power is like a borrowed coat.
A borrowed coat.
Right.
And so at this point, you have the coat, you wear it, and if it's over, you get it off and somebody else is taking it. You can always try. And so he did well for the country. He set the country up in terms of democracy. I think he did extremely well. And so every Liberian congratulates for that. That was good on his part.
And that has placed Liberia on a certain pedestal right
definitely.
now, democratically speaking. Because
Definitely.
like I said, in the aftermath of that, I mean, post that, I kept speaking about it for weeks. I was just so happy that he had done that. And, you know, the electoral result was on a knife's edge.
Definitely.
A knife's edge, basically.
Definitely.
It was slim.
20-some thousand votes.
He could have easily decided,
Definitely.
you know, I'm not going to agree, there was this and that. He just let it go.
I agree with you.
How much of an example do you think that sets for, especially our sub-region? And look, there are coup d'etats going on in certain places because they feel the democratic leaders are not doing the right thing. No one is supporting military interventions in politics. But sometimes there are constitutional coups and the right things are not done. How much of a lesson is that for our African leaders, especially in the sub-region?
I was told that President, we have gone for the last African ECOWAS meeting also in Nigeria after he conceded defeat. And he got a rousing applause from all the African leaders in the room.
Deservedly
and
so.
Telling him thank you and congratulations and whatever. I guess it's sinking down to some of them. Now look, I wish I had done what President Weah did.
Yeah.
Maybe today I will be
celebrated.
A celebrity and people will look up to us. And I want to encourage all African leaders and leaders in the world. A democratic process is a democratic process. When you are defeated, concede and let somebody else take over. You can still be a part of the process. You can still make a comeback. You could contribute in different ways. Because look, this world we live, we are all strangers.
Yeah.
You don't know at what point. Today could be my last day speaking to you. And tomorrow I could be no more. I got it this morning and a statement, a permanent person from my region. Somebody just texted me this morning. I spoke to him on Saturday. Today is Monday. He called me on Saturday. I'm a Methodist. That the Methodist conference is going on in Buchanan, and the bishop was asking for me. And I said, no, I'm in Morocco. I'm on my way to Ghana. And so I'm not there. Tell the bishop I will miss this conference. When I come, I will reach out to the leaders of the church. And I was told this morning that he died. His former representative, he was just defeated in these going elections. His name is Honorable Johnson Weglo, a permanent statesman, elderly man, respectable person. So you don't know what tomorrow is.
This
There's
life
no
is
need
very
to
transient.
fight. No
Very
need to
transient.
fight, yes.
Very transient. On the back of all of this, just a quick thought. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is still alive. George Weah is still alive. Joseph Boakai is president. You are vice president of Liberia. Are you going to tap into their knowledge? I mean, moving forward, because it's collaborative, right? You are in power now, but do you think you'd be willing to get ideas to move Liberia forward?
Oh, definitely. Look, people who try, and if there was some mistake, I use the word if there was some mistake during their tenure, sometimes they wish if they had the opportunity to correct those mistakes. Those are places you need to tap in as leaders coming on. So at a certain point you want to talk to them, hear from them. Oh yes, even the day of inauguration, President Sirleaf, President Weah, and President Boakai, the three of them had their hands up, and there was a photo shoot, which was good for our country. And we also can assure the country that by 2029, if Ambassador Boakai is defeated, we equally concede and let the country move forward.
Right.
We can assure you that.
Right.
But we are doing everything to make sure Ambassador Boakai retains his seat.
Right.
But if for any reason we are defeated, we would definitely concede.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And you would likely be celebrated the same way George Weah was celebrated. True. My final bit to you, and we end the conversation, and I'll take your closing remarks as well. So the civil wars that have happened, I've told you, for example, my family was stuck in the first Liberian Civil War. Now we are looking at a new Liberia. What do you feel are the lessons that have been learned from the Civil War, and what would a future Liberia look like under Joseph Boakai and Jeremiah Cole? That's my final bit to you.
So the first thing, the war started as a war to remove President Doe from power at the time,
Chief Sergeant Doe,
who were believed to be a dictator, who was believed to have also rigged the election in 1985. And that war turned into a tribal war.
Yeah.
And so there were major tribes having rebel factions. So if you take, for instance, those of us that come from Nimba, we were the MPFL or IMPFL. We were dominating that group. Though there were other people, but we dominated that group. Though I haven't fired a gun before, I was never a rebel, and up to today, I'll never fire a gun. I've never a soldier before in my life. And so, but I come from that group. So our people were dominating in that group. The another group is the Mandingos. There's a tribe in Liberia called the Mandingos. The Mandingos also felt marginalized, and so they form a group. At first it was Ulimo, and later it became Le Rebel. Then there's another group that is bordering with us too. That is the Crown group, the group that President Doe tribal people. They also form another group, model, and so it became a tribal war, where when this group meet this group, anyone from this group is an enemy to you, and anyone from this group. And so we fought 14 years war. Nobody won. That is to tell you, regardless of how much a group of people are small, no one can erase a group of people from the face of the earth. Regardless of what you do, they will always exist. And so we understood that. We fought, we hurt ourselves, we killed ourselves, we destroyed our country, and we think it's now time to move forward and build our country. And that's why democracy is the way forward. And going forward, any of us who are politicians that will be defeated at the ballot will accept the result and move forward.
Right. Thank you, Jeremiah. Final words, Mr. Addison?
Sir?
Any final words you'd like to share with us?
Oh, first of all, I want to thank His Excellency for the honor done. I cannot quantify it in that $3,000 that he wanted to give me. It's not even more than that $3,000. I thank you very much, Your Excellency, for such a wonderful occasion. My appeal, I'm no more in the police service, but I want to tell my men, the policemen, especially the investigators, that anytime they receive a case, they should give equal platform. They should not be judgmental. They should make sure that they sit down, get all the necessary information before they forward the case to court. That's my humble appeal. Money should not be an issue, but one day, when they do the right thing, they are also going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
They say the evil men do lives after them, but the good men do also lives after them. And even if not you, sometimes someone close to you. This has been an exciting conversation about, yes, politics and current happenings and leadership, good governance in Africa, if you like, but also about honesty being the best policy and learning to treat people as what they are, human, just as we are. It doesn't matter whether the person is Nigerian, Nigerian, Liberian. The person is a human being, and that's the bottom line. Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining the conversation. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Jeremiah Kong. We've also had joining the conversation Mr. Emmanuel Eko Addison, who was a police officer. He's no longer with the police service at the time in 2000. This has been another installment of AM Exclusive with yours truly. Thank you so much for watching us as we've come to you today from, yes, you can see this garden, this beautiful setting, the Kempinski Hotel right here in Accra.